Pop Metal Show.
Nope. All right, welcome. This Hop Smell Show is hot.
String, we left love.
Yeah, love's like doing whatever.
Yes.
Old
people stuff.
Yeah, old people stuff, which we do a lot of that too. Anyway, yesterday, or well, let's not do yesterday. April 18th.
18th, there you go.
We went and seen GFM.
GFM.
But give a little summary behind GFM.
For us, anyway.
Yeah, for us, me and Love, which is not here, did a Christmas video request. And Romaire 3 Judge, I think I'm getting that right. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. But he had introduced us to these girls that done a Christmas video. So we checked them out, and me and Love thought they were awesome. So we decided we'd bring it to the table, and we figured String needed to be included in this, which I think he was glad that we included him in this. And I'm going to let him take over everything else.
So, we had lined it up to do this interview. We knew the Fozzy show was coming up, and we had to take advantage of that opportunity to go see them for one. And we got in contact with their management, which is their mom, and lined everything up. And so if you're not familiar with them yet, you need to go back and watch some of their videos that we've done, or watch their videos. It doesn't matter, just go check them out. But go check them out. They're 3 sisters from Jacksonville, Florida, faith-based band, super great, talented, and they just blew me away live.
Yeah, I was very impressed.
So go check them out if you haven't already checked them out. So, I mean,
And then we're going to give you a little journey.
Yeah, we give you a little bit of snippet that we did along the way to see show you what we had to deal with driving there, and what they had to deal with driving there too.
And the most important part is the interview.
Yes, we've already, by the time you're already watching this, you already seen the this or that.
Yeah, and we did, this or that, which is going to be cool. I think we need to incorporate that more often.
I think they had fun with that one too.
Yeah,
and
so
I had fun with it anyway.
TikTok, Hopper71, if you want to see that, I think it's hashtag GFM band, and that'll come up, and I'm not sure.
That's on YouTube, isn't it?
No, on YouTube. It'll be on TikTok. It'll be the same thing.
Okay. Right.
I just haven't carried it over to TikTok yet.
Oh, gotcha. All right. So anyway, we're going to go into the interview, the little snippet in the interview, and hope you enjoyed it as much as we did.
Yep. Thank you.
Peace.
All right, everybody, we're headed GFM show. Lovely weather today. It's April 18th.
Yep, April 18th. It's 32 degrees outside, and yesterday we had 50 couple degrees. It was nice weather, beautiful, sunny, and today we get this.
Nice.
Yes.
Well, we've already had to come off the interstate because that was nonsense. So we'll give y'all a brief summary when we get to the show. Y'all enjoy.
Peace.
See ya.
All right, we're here on the bus with the lovely ladies at GFM, and we're here to do some questions for you, and see what, I know y'all interviewed well with the Jericho. We just talked about that a little bit ago, so we know you're good, and apparently Mom and Dad have really drove that home with y'all. So, yeah. With Framing My Perception, it was released on the 31st, as usual, great positive message within the song, uplifting song. And by the way, we really love the solo in it, because that was kind of new for you, doing solos, and we picked up on that pretty quick. And we're like, that was it was perfect fit for the song, and how you did it. So kudos to you on that. How did the song come together, and was there something in particular that influenced the song?
Yeah, so we definitely wanted to write a song just about taking a step back and realizing that, no matter how difficult things in life get and what life throws at you, if we take a step back and reevaluate it and change the way we look at it, we can see it from a more positive outlook, and we can grow from it and learn from it instead of just kind of sitting in it. And we wanted to write it in a more calmed down version of our music, just because it is that song that's about taking a step back and like relaxing and taking a deep breath, and so we didn't want it to be like this super like in your face song and like calm down don't know, like stuff like that. We wanted it to match the same message as the like instrumental stuff.
Yeah,
as
that, like I
well.
said, with that, in the mellowness, I guess you want to call it, of the song, that's, like I said, that solo fit perfect within that. I don't, like, I think it would, like you said, it would have been too aggressive if you tried to put something more, screamy or that kind of thing into it.
Now, is that a taste of an EP, or is this just a one song off?
Yeah, so it's actually the title track of the upcoming EP. So the EP will come out May 27th, and it's called Frame My Perception as well.
Okay.
But there is also some heavier stuff on there. There's, I think that's Frame My Perception is definitely the lightest song on it. There's a couple songs that have just a little bit of screaming in it, but they're more on the rock side, but there's still definitely like heavy guitars, but there's a little bit of lighter singing. And then there's also some songs that are just like very brutally heavy. So we tried to like have like a wide range of options just for anybody who, like, in case you don't like the heavy stuff, you can listen to it, but if you only like the heavy stuff, you can still listen to it as well.
Well, that's what's awesome about your music. You got so much influence with what you're doing that you can go anywhere, and within one song you can hear 2 or 3 different styles of music,
Right.
and you can pick up other bands that, you know, like, that's definitely influenced you guys. So video, actual video, because from what I've seen on the vlog, does it look like y'all were recording a video for?
Yeah,
is
so
that for framing?
a video is coming very soon. We're waiting on, we had some, I think a few setbacks, just because we had to actually refilm a portion of it, but we did that with the hopes of some bigger things coming out of it. So it's coming very soon, but we're not allowed to say the release date yet.
And
But there is a video.
did you all do a majority of the videography part of it, and or do you
Yeah,
actually
we
have?
had a really big part in like helping kind of direct it and kind of set the scenes and find the locations for it and everything. So it was a really
That's
cool.
more your department, right?
Yeah, we actually had a person come in and film it this time. So we've got like a more director kind of position and like helping lay out the storyboard and figuring out what we wanted to do. And so it's very much like a collaborative process. But since we recently signed to Rock House Records, they're like, oh, okay, so we're gonna take the burden off of you for this one, so you don't have to worry about filming it and doing all this stuff and everything else.
Well, that was probably a big relief.
Yeah.
But is that different since they're kind of taking some of the pressure off of you?
Would you rather have that control?
Yeah,
It's definitely a little bit weird at first, just because we are used to doing so much of everything, but
it allows you to do more.
Yeah.
In other situations where we just could never have time to like expand in. So it's like Maggie was saying, it was difficult to let go of that control, but also it's helped us to like broaden our horizons in different areas that we've never been able to touch.
Well, that's
So
it's definitely a learning process, but
Yeah.
it's good for both ways.
yeah.
All right, I'll take this one. So the last couple of years with COVID, it's been really hard for a lot of bands. How did you all take advantage of that downtime, and what are some of the more positive things that came out of that downtime?
It was definitely difficult to change our like way we do things because it definitely changed the music industry and how
big way.
a lot of our friends and bands like they just had to shut down and they couldn't do it anymore because they couldn't figure out how to adapt or they couldn't fund what they were doing because how you make money in this industry is you tour, you meet people, you sell merch, and we couldn't do that for a good year. And so we're really grateful how who was even responsible like for coming up with the idea of the e-tour?
I don't know. I think it was just a like collaborative idea that we had in our camp because we knew we really wanted to embrace the more social media aspect of things. And so we started going live on Twitch and live on YouTube and live on Instagram and doing a ton of live streams and finding ways to make more like profits from doing that as well. But also just finding avenues to where we can still be in contact with our fans because we didn't want them to just be like stuck at their house as well and not be able to talk to anybody. And so we're like, if we can't go out physically, we can at least go out virtually and see people and contact them. And a lot of people told us during that time that, you know, that was the motivation they had to keep going every day because they thought that, you know, the the pandemic life was so like mundane and boring, and being able to check in and have conversations with real people really kept them going. So that was really motivating for us to keep doing that. And so then we decided that we wanted to start playing music live, and we're like, we don't really know how to do like the whole electric side of things, so we'll do like an acoustic tour. And so we were taking over like festival pages, a lot of our sponsor pages, and a couple like venue pages, and we did like tour stops, but it was just through like their Facebook page or their Instagram page and stuff, and we would play acoustic sets and people would join and everything. And so it was really just this time of learning how to like take over the virtual side of stuff. And so now like when we play in-person shows, we still go live for like our international fans or fans that can't make it to shows because they're immunocompromised or they are just not like in the same city or whatever. They can still log in and watch like the electric sets now. That's cool. So it's a way to like continue reaching out to those people.
Well, especially because I mean y'all don't get overseas very often, so it's definitely it's like their in-person experience, but through screen. But hey, you take what you can get.
Yeah.
So guess being on the Save the World tour, did Chris Jericho get in touch with y'all to do this tour?
Yeah, it was actually really cool how it all went down, and we thought it was always like people just said it as I don't know, like
the right place, right time.
Yeah,
like they're just always lying.
Yeah, they're always lying. There's always like a secret agenda in the background. It's always like the label that's figuring it out, but really it was right place and right time. And it was a year before we did Brought Days, that festival where they headlined, and they watched us play at Rockfest in their Fozzy camp. And then they remembered from that next year, and so Chris Jericho actually watched us play. We had no idea. And so Maggie was just getting into WWE and AEW, so we kind of like we knew who we were, we knew who the Fozzy camp was, but didn't like 100% know. And so after we got done playing, and we were just really stressed out because there was like a major storm coming through, we didn't even think we were gonna be able to play. Like their whole team, or like Fozzy, got rained out, so they didn't even get to play. So we just wanted to meet with people before everyone got stormed out. And our mom pulled us away. She's like, I just need you for 5 minutes. And we were like, well, we were going to meet with everyone and then we'll go. And she's like, no, you don't understand.
Trust
and
me.
so she pulls us backstage, and Chris was there, and he's like, oh, I just wanted to meet you guys. You guys are my new favorite band. He's like, I love what you're doing. I love your message. And he's like, let's stay in contact. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, everyone says that. But 2 weeks later, after the festival, we get a call from his booking agent. And he said, hey, so Chris really wants to go on tour with y'all. Would you be willing to open up for them? And he's like, if it doesn't go through, I'd love to book you. So because of Chris, we have a booking agent now, like from his booking team.
Cool.
And now we have this tour.
Wow,
So
yeah,
That was
that's a pretty solid thing to have right there. So
yeah, we're really grateful for him because he also helps like a lot of up and coming wrestlers too. And so like him helping like different industries, like up and coming bands, and then also up and coming wrestlers. It's just really cool. He's like such a genuine person, and like especially from the interview, you get to able to like really talk to him and hear where like he came from, and then his passions and his goals. It just truly shows that he's not just a person kind of trying to take people for money or trying to like build him up just from other people. Because a lot of people came to us and they're like, so is he like really genuine, or is he just like an awful person? I guess a lot of people don't think he's a good person.
Well, he plays a heel on TV.
He's a bad wrestler. But we had met him
he was really
years ago when Fozzy just started, and they were just doing all cover songs. And we used to go up to this place called Jackson, Springfield, Virginia. And he came out after the show, signed autograph, took pictures. Really cool guy. I mean,
he seemed really genuine.
Yeah.
I felt the same way when we talked to him.
I mean,
he talks to us like almost every day on tour as well. He's like, "Hey, how's it going?" Like compliments his makeup. Like, "How was your makeup today?"
It's so funny. Oh my goodness.
Well,
that relaxes y'all too.
Yeah,
so.
and from the interview, he was like, "You got to be a rock star all the time." So he's trying to push that on you guys.
Yeah.
So as far as this tour compared to some of the other tours you've been on, I mean, obviously this is a little bit bigger as far as a full-on tour. Is that a better thing or equal to like some of the smaller tours where you're doing smaller venues or, smaller groups of people and, it's more where you get to play longer and that kind of thing? Is this...
I think it's hard to compare them because while this tour is like, we have a bus, this is like a really big plus. We have a bus for this tour. This is the first time we ever had that, and so everybody has like a space for their own stuff, and like we don't have to worry about like having to get hotels and everything. And our mom doesn't have to drive, and so she's able to actually get sleep.
Yes.
And like crowds are like automatically built in, and so if we're like doing our own headlining tour, sometimes we're like, Lord, I hope there's people here. But like now, as we're opening for Fozzy, so the crowds are built in, so we don't have to worry about that. So that's obviously a huge blessing. But then when we do play our own like headlining shows and stuff, we get to kind of map out a little bit more about where we go. And so we try to play target areas where we know a lot of fans are always asking us to come to. But that does also kind of limit us because we don't have a ton of contacts. And so with this tour, we've been able to go to a lot more places where people have been asking us for like 5 years to come. And it's like, well, we don't know anybody there, so we can't go there. So this tour definitely has opened up a lot of doors and a lot of opportunities for us. So I think it's just one of those like stepping stones where like we had to do like our own tours by ourselves first before we could get up to a tour like this. So I think it's just one of those things where you have to like kind of earn your time. So
As far as new listeners finding out about you guys at the show, like have you had a lot of people come up to you after the show and like say, hey, like first time hearing you, getting a lot of good positive response?
Definitely. Our like social medias have just like exploded. Like it's crazy. Like every night we'll look at them, we're like, how is it already at this number?
I think the coolest thing is that people will bring their kids and like, this is my kid's first concert, and so it's like such an honor to be like these up and coming generation being like their first introduction to music, like live music, and so that was really, I don't know, it just almost brings you to tears. You're like, it's so crazy, because when we first went to concerts, it was when we saw Skillet, and it's like, oh my word, like I love Skillet, and then now it's like we're that next band that people are like bringing their kids to, so this is really cool.
That's what I enjoy the most, like what we was talking about earlier, like in doing this, seeing a lot of new, younger bands that are pushing, you know, and bringing out
the
energy, and it's just like everything that they're doing to get more music out there and carry the torch for us old guys. Like, it's awesome to see that.
Or going to, I know, like you go see Aerosmith, you'll have 3 generations of family. And it's like, golly, these guys, you know. But it is watching young people. Let's us down, and we was watching a pay-per-view show of y'all last night, and the energy is just unreal. It's so cool to see. I mean, because, you know, you're the future of the music.
Well, and then plus you are feeding your crowd, so it's like you got to play off each other. So.
Yeah, and that's the best thing is when, especially these crowds we've been playing, they're ready for music, and they're just super excited, and so like you just do anything on stage, they're feeding back into it. So it's just like kind of give and take, and so the more that you give, the more they give, and so they're just, the energy is just crazy every night.
Definitely had a lot of pent up energy ready to be released.
He was showing me some, I guess, social media stuff.
So I think you had it on was it TikTok where you had everybody crammed up in the in the back of the U-Haul? Is that like the first major hiccup on this tour, or is that like been little small things like that, but that's just been the biggest of the...
I don't think it's been a hiccup. I think it's just kind of figuring out different venue-wise, and it's really like popular and known for New York venues being like that.
Oh, really?
A lot of people thought our bus broke down and everything, and we're like, no, we just had to get into New York City. Like, they wouldn't let the big bus in. And
I've been there one time, and I'm thankful that I was on a bus trip when I went up there, and I did not have to drive a net mask.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And that's just like, we've heard bands tell us that before, and we're like, there's no way. Like, you gotta be able to like break your stuff in there, at least drop it off. And then we got there, we're like, they weren't kidding.
It's all real.
But it was like, and then I heard him. He had shown me that, and then the Chris Jericho interview, it was talking about the U-Haul coming unhooked.
Yeah.
And it was like, I bet that was just crazy.
That's the thing you don't want to have.
But how your mom, I guess she was a trooper. She just handled it and didn't freak out.
We're the panickers today.
It was the thing with the moms having the superpowers for like the moments of panic.
So, being a vocally faith-based band, have you had any negative events happen or rise at any of the shows where people didn't, or gave you more of like, you know, a bad vibe off of it, or has everything been like a positive thing because they know that what you are?
I don't think there's been anything really like truly negative. I think it's very important just to be who you are and who, like, to not put on a fake persona or anything. And I think it's really important that we stand at the table and explain what we are about. So, like, we have many friends and family and bands who take, like, multiple, like, 30 to an hour explaining and talking about their testimony, and they'll preach from stage. And we necessarily don't feel like that we have to do, like, we'll say, like, not go say from stage, like, what we believe. But I think our thing that we see is important is to stand from stage, or just stand off stage and at our table and just explain who we are. And I think that brings more of a genuine chance to, like, not have assumptions created or something like that.
And that's something we learned from, like, a very young age, is when we first started performing. We did do that, and we had bands, because we weren't playing with Christian bands, because like, our music wasn't really accepted at that time. And they came up to us and they're like, we just want you to know that we respect you for, like, saying that. Like, that takes guts to say that from stage. And we have Christian friends who pretend not to be Christian when they're around us, and, like, they cuss and they drink and they, like, bash God's name, but then, like, the next day they'll go to church and, like, act like they don't know who we are. And so they're like, we really respect you for being open about that. And so they were people who claimed to be atheists and stuff, and they're like, don't change that about you. And so that's something that we've always just kind of held on to. And so, like, when we go, like, no matter what venue, we're playing Christian venues now or non-Christian venues, like, we say the same thing from stage. We say the same thing to everybody at the crowd and everything. And, like, we haven't had any negative experiences on this tour. Everyone's just been super open.
We actually had a lot of people come up to us and, like, thank us too. And even though this is more of, like, a general market tour, like, even Chris, like, he's Christian. He's been a big follower of the Christian like, rock community and scene. And so it was just really encouraging to have, like, him, such, like, a huge caliber, to encourage us and say, like, keep going with your mission. So it's, I don't know, it's always interesting because
we never really know what to expect from from the crowd. And our dad, he's always like, backstage, and so he's always just like, oh, here it comes, here it comes. Like, he's like sweating bullets when it's like that. We've been doing this so long, like, I don't even care. Like, they could boo, they could do whatever, like, and it wouldn't affect us. Like, we've been doing this since we were little, and so, like,
actually, I will say, we had one show where people were being very, like, inappropriate and stuff, but the Fozzy team were the ones that were going to fight people. They were holding people back. And I was like, that's so weird, because it's, I don't know, because they're, like, the big band with the big band, and they're the ones that kind of took on that dad role too. So they were wanting to, like, fight people.
You got somebody on your side there. That's awesome. Well, you know, and it's good to know that you have that positive group that are always looking out for you.
All right, I'm going to jump a little down.
All right, you jump down there.
All right, so y'all play Germany. Is there any other place that you really are excited to play? Any certain place?
We're actually playing, it's not overseas, but we're playing the Rock Cafe. What was that?
The Hard Rock.
Hard Rock Cafe. And I didn't realize we were playing one of the Hard Rock Cafes. And we are, and I was like, oh my goodness, that's so crazy. So it was New York City, and then the Hard Rock Cafe were, like, my main things that I wanted to be able to play. And then
That's in the States.
Yeah, in the States. We are going back to Germany this year if everything is, like, still cleared by the end of, like, September and October. We'll be going back. But other than that, I would really love to get to the UK, because we have a bunch of people asking us to go there, and we've been trying for a while.
In Japan.
And Japan, Japan has been always just, like, a top one for all three of us combined. We're just like, we want to get to Japan.
We've got a follower from Japan, and he is just, he is on another level. Like, this dude sends us stuff all the time, and we try to send him stuff, and he's, like, I think he's talking about he wants to come visit the States. He's been here one other time, but he wants to come back. And we're like, dude, you need to come over here. We'll take you wherever you want to go.
We need a translator.
Yeah, well, I think he speaks a little bit English, but it would be a little difficult. But I think we can figure it out. But that's the place that I would really want to go. I want to go to Germany. I want to go to Japan. I actually went to the Hard Rock when we went to London on our honeymoon.
Oh, cool. And
that was, like, a really cool place. They have, like, a museum in the basement. And if you ever make it there, go there, go down to the, I'm assuming it's still there. They had all kinds of cool stuff. They had a Jimi Hendrix bench that was from his apartment and one of his guitars there.
Whoa.
So I got to hold it, and I was on top of the world. So.
That's crazy.
All right, I'm gonna go back up here, man.
Right.
So Maggie, you are more into the music production, and Lulu, you're into the video photography and videography. Do you, as a band, want to continue with more of the performing, or kind of do that for now, and then kind of keep pushing into the other sides of the music industry, and then have that as like something you can fall back on whenever you're kind of done?
Yeah, I think it's definitely something that we want to just push the performing right now for as long as possible, especially since like it's like the hot commodity right now. Push it as long as possible.
We also do a lot of like streaming and stuff, and so we want to continue doing the band as much as possible, and then just kind of keep doing everything on the side because we love staying busy. So
Yeah, Lula's a Twitch streamer. Shout out to her. Lula's page.
Yeah,
So-
our dad's a big proponent of having like backup plans and like several backup plans. and
Because
stuff.
that's one thing that's really hurt a lot of people during all the COVID stuff. They didn't have a backup plan, and then they were like, "What do we do now?" Like,
Yeah.
so that's awesome, and keep pushing education, learning all that stuff. Because I'm trying to learn some of that stuff now.
Yeah,
It's a little overwhelming for me anyway.
I'm barely keeping my head above the water. If you've seen how we record our show, you
It's
would be
pretty,
amazed.
Oh,
we
goodness.
might have to have you come in and help us out.
Is there any bands that y'all would be like a dream tour or share stage with, or?
We go back and forth, and there's literally a million bands we could explain. Through the past couple of interviews, I think from everyone saying comparing us to Kitty, because everyone is like, "Oh my word, you're like the modern Kitty," and they're actually doing a reunion tour. So
I saw
they're
that.
playing
They're playing
Blue
some-
Ridge.
Yes.
So we're really hoping to be able to meet them because everyone's like, "You need to go on tour with Kitty," or "You need to cover Kitty." So that'd be really cool to play with them. But then also, I think Slipknot, because they have that same energy
Yes.
where it's very theatrical, costume, in your face.
They have the same commitment to their fans that
same
we do.
commitment, where it's just very passionate
It's
about.
very family.
Yeah, very family.
Yeah, their fans are really passionate.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I
Because they
think
had
would
that
be
stuff
really
with Machine Gun Kelly, and that was like, crazy.
cool. Yeah. So I think if we did GFM Kitty Slipknot, that would be cool for
That would be a cool deal.
So, us being Gen Xers, we had the tape trading. That's how we got word of mouth to all the new bands that was coming around, and from overseas and whatnot. You all huge on social media. You're on almost every platform, I think. It's a big push for you guys that you have all this access to getting your stuff out there. You know, for us that was a lot harder. So as far as spreading that word, like what's the next, where do you go from that? Like what is your generation's new outlet going to be? Because like social media is great right now, but is that going to last forever?
Yeah,
I hope so, but
I think there'll just be new platforms. Like TikTok's a new one that really blew up, and we've been doing a lot of new marketing through that because it's really cool how it's like a 7-second to almost 3-minute video now. Just doing whatever, being like dumb, crazy, and then like the video will blow up, and like Lula's TikTok like went up to 100,000 views just like in a day.
wow.
And so I think TikTok's a really cool like avenue to like either promote your music or just be like, I don't know, funny and
Crazy.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I
But
spend hours on it.
yeah, it's funny because I just got into Facebook and because I love doing like write-ups and stuff about like our beliefs, and then just to have that like cool one-on-one thing from like individually wise. Like I know Lulu has her Twitch and then her Instagram, and then Maggie runs a lot of the social media pages. So I wanted a chance to like I have like my garden, so I'll post on my garden and like self home remedy stuff, and it kind of just blew up through there. And it's almost like this secret little like I'll put stuff out and Maggie will get mad at me. She's like, "You were supposed to release that." So like my thing is like this we call it like the spilling the tea or whatever, and so I'll give out like secret information through like my Facebook. So it's just really cool to have like separate avenues that our fans have to like look in different places and not just this one area. So it's almost like a scavenger hunt or something like that.
I know I used to be on Facebook. It just got to be too much drama on there for me. So for me to get TikTok where I can go in there, I just want to go on and have a good time. And I can laugh at cat videos or whatever, and then see a video of you guys, and then see another band or something. It's just like, it's not hard to lose an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my new thing for me right now. And then it's just like, I don't have the drama. You don't have to read all the negative posts and why somebody's down in the dumps over here for this because
Or what they
of
had
something
for-
silly that I wouldn't even be sharing on Facebook. Anyway.
I didn't really need to know that.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff on there. That's why I'm just done with it. It was just too much.
Yeah.
So, do we got a Christmas song coming out this year? I know we just talked about this when we first got on the bus. But that is really how we were introduced to the band.
Yeah.
And it was just, I think Love even commented that, wondered if we was going to get a Christmas song this year.
I know we ran out of time last year just because last year was so hectic and we were just like literally down to the last minute working on like things, and so it's something that we wanted to do, but this year's ended up being like another extremely busy year, so we'll have to see. Hopefully we'll have time to do it more this year. We missed one last year.
Yeah.
Maybe you can make it to the beach and then do another beach theme there. I'll enjoy that one. That was actually fun. So we'll do this one and then we'll finish it. I think we're about a minute left, so we'll try to cram this one in. From what I understood from your interview with Jericho, your parents were fans of the hair metal scene. What are some of the more influential bands that you guys grew up listening to that pushed you to do what you're doing now?
I think that the 80s hair metal scene definitely pushed us to have that, like, really in your face and, like, happy energy. So
Like our dad brings us like on the Motley Crue, like
Def
Kiss.
Leppard, Kiss, yeah.
Especially like with the costumes, because our dad was like, you have to have a show. Like they don't want to just
Yeah.
see you play the music. They want to like watch you play the music, and they want to be entertained. And so he would always show us like videos of like Gene Simmons and like blowing fire and all that stuff. And like he wanted me to blow fire for at one point, and I was like, Dad, I'm not gonna do that. Yes, Dad. And he's like, no, it's okay. We'll just put gasoline in your mouth and it'll be fine. I was like, I don't think that's how you do it. I'm not a professional. Like I'm not gonna do
I think
it.
it's rubbing alcohol, but I don't know that from experience.
But yeah, it's definitely just all those bands that have like the big like stage costumes and then also like just presence. And
See, I think for us, it was all about the image. And you have a lot of bands that are just out there, and I don't mind the bands that are up there in their t-shirts and their blue jeans and whatever, but it's like your outfits and, you know, just anything. You know, it shows that you know, you're pushing something different and you're not afraid to get out there and you know, if you want to dress like a clown and run around the stage, hey, that's fine with me. At least it's something different, you know, and that's what I always enjoyed about the 80s, you know, the big hair, the makeup. I mean, we saw Twisted Sister, we saw them dressed down one time with no makeup, it was just stripped down, blue jean t-shirts, and that was cool for one side of it because that was something different outside the norm for us to see them that way, but it was a small club thing, and they didn't even go by Twisted Sister. It was Bent Brother, and it was what they did early on, you know, before they were big. And so to see that was kind of cool. But you know, I never got the opportunity to see them with all the makeup on, so I missed that opportunity. But I did get to see a different opportunity. So but for me, that's what I always enjoy about the music scene. It's just putting something individual within their image to go along with the music.
We had the pyros. We even had the band that played drums upside down.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what was cool about the 80s was the show. I mean, you went to a show and it was kind of like the energy was there. They weren't just up there going through the motions.
Yeah.
I mean, there was and that's the cool thing with y'all. You can see the passion there.
Yes.
Not just going through the motions, because nobody wants to see that. I mean, they come to the show, they want to have a good time and leave and say, "Wow, that was fun."
Yeah.
And I think y'all deliver that very well.
We definitely try, and I think a big thing is that we just like to have fun on stage and just create that energy. And when we write with people the first time, we always preference that when we laugh at something, that means it's good, because we can see and also like see the future and how that energy is going to create, and just this big ball and then the release. And yeah, I don't really like having fun on stage, and just like sometimes like we have like that banter over and like kick Maggie and she falls over. It's really funny. And like I'll jump into the crowd and mosh with everyone.
She just got knee pads, and so she's been trying to like slide around on stage and stuff.
Like the risky business. So it's trying to find like different things that like make it fun and almost like the like circus aspect. So.
Yeah, that's cool.
But you don't want to fall and get hurt. Didn't that happen to you? I think it was.
That happened at Blue Ridge.
Oh, that was from that show. I think I remember seeing it on video, but I didn't know which show it was. I think it was, I don't even remember. It may have been on, I don't think it was TikTok, but it might have been a YouTube or a vlog or something, yeah.
Yeah, and it was funny, that video actually like blew up because of that. So
people got mad at us. They're like, "How dare you like exploit her injury?" And we're like, "She's the one who told us to grab the camera." She's like, "Don't grab it; it'll go on YouTube."
There you go.
Yeah, I broke my ankle and leg in 3 places from that. But you know, I just kept going. I didn't realize it.
Trooper.
Yep, you got to forge on. All right, well, we have a couple other things, but we're gonna fun stuff we're gonna do for the Q&A part of your VIP thing. So
we think you'll like this.
Yeah. Something fun. We've been trying to do something different on the show, and kind of part of that. So, but yes. Anyway, well, I want to thank all of you all, Dad and Mom, for letting us get on here and have a good time and talk to you guys, and it's been awesome.
It's been cool to follow this whole journey through for ourselves, just watching y'all grow. That's been cool as hell.
For sure. I mean, we are super appreciative for you guys like giving us a chance to like speak our truth and have our platform. So I know it's just really cool to have like all these interviews and get to meet people face to face. Through all the different across the nation.
It's especially now after all the COVID stuff. It's been crazy, and like I said, everybody's pent up and wanting to get out and do things, and just be able to go to a show. That means a lot to a lot of people. Right
We're
now.
just ready to rock.
So we'll see here after a while, but so excited to see the show. Finally get to see you guys live and watch you beat the crap out of each All right, well, thanks
for the stuff,
and guess we'll see y'all here in a little while.
Thanks again. This is really cool.